Hello, my name is Johan Falk. I work at NodeOne Scandinavia. It is, as you know, I hope, a nice morning here in Stockholm, Sweden. And we're working with views bulk operations as a part of the Learn Rules Framework screencast series. So let's have a look at that. The Learn Rules Framework screencast series. Here with a lot of screencasts right now, episodes. And there will be more. It's part of the NodeOne Learning Library. You can find it at our website, and you can also find the book that we have at Amazon. We have a views bulk operations that we built in the last screencast, and now I'm going to show you some of the settings that you can use in views bulk operations to make this page a bit more nice. Alright, so first thing that is pretty important that you know about when working with views bulk operations is this access setting in views. This is not a VBO setting, it is a view setting. If you don't restrict access to a VBO, then anyone can use it basically, which might be a bit bad if anyone can access your site and say change author of content or something. Yeah, so make sure you check that. Even if you have those on administrative pages, people might hack into those or just guess URLs and stuff and try to use your VBO. Even if you don't have them exposed as pages, I think it's a good idea to set this access. So, enough about that. Each VBO field has some interesting settings in it. Let's see here. First you have the regular view settings, of course. Then, first setting here, drop down a select box with submit button or each action as separate button. I think it's usually much nicer to have separate buttons for these actions instead of a select list. If you have like 10 different actions you want to make, then it makes sense to have a select list, but usually just have one or two, and then a button is much more neat. So I'm going to change this so we can see what it looks like later on. Select all items on all pages. Oh, this is a nice new feature. If we select here, yeah, you see that we select 10 rows on this page and we can select all 50 that are available on other pages as well. Pretty nice. For single, this is new for Drupal 7 as well. I guess this changes it to radio button instead of checkbox fields. Let's actually try that out. Display processing results, that gives you, now I didn't show you, but let's see here. If I say make this unsticky and execute, then I get this confirmation step as well. We get a message here saying this happened. You can choose not to display that if you want to with this display processing results. Merge single action forms with a row selection view. If you have actions that requires configuration and you only have one action, it makes sense to have that configuration on the same page as the actual view. So if I only had this operation here, change author of content, then I now, as it is right now, I get another page where I set the author. But if that's the only option I have here for actions, I can have that setting displayed below the view, I think it is. And so that's pretty useful. Number of entities to load at once. I guess this is how many, well, if bulk operating, if not executing everything at once, this determines how many will be processed in each chunk when views bulk operations processes these items. Alright, cool. In each selected operation, you can also select a few extra things here and queue the operation instead of executing it directly. This is called batching stuff, using what's called the batch API, which is pretty similar to the queue API or the job queue for Drupal 6. That's very good if you have heavy stuff. If you want to process, say, 3,000 nodes and change author or remove taxonomy terms or whatever, then you don't want to do that in one single page load because it will time out and your server will have some problems. You'll probably get memory problems and things. Instead, you can enqueue it to have VBO then execute 10 items at a time or something. Skip confirmation step, pretty good thing. New for Drupal 7, you can do this on a per action basis, which is good. You can override label. This is also very nice. New for Drupal 7. If you don't think that make content sticky is the best label for your action, you can change that here. And that's basically it. Let's have a quick look at the actions available here. We have, these are I think mostly the basic Drupal actions available that have been exposed to VBO. Change author with scene delete item, no strange. Display message to user is maybe a bit weird to use, but that will queue up a message for the user like this on the confirmation message. It's gone here, but next time the page load, they will get a message. Execute arbitrary PHP script, don't do that. That's available even though the PHP module is not enabled. That's actually pretty interesting. Sticky, unsticky. Let's deselect these and we'll see what this looks like when I save. Sticky, unsticky, pass ID as argument to a page. This is pretty interesting. This sends the entity IDs as, well, plus separated to a URL that you specify. So if you want to have some extra processing going on there, which you might have if you have a custom written module or something, then this is a pretty useful thing to use. Promote to front page, publish, redirect to URL. What? I don't know what that one does. And it also occurs to me that this show message for user is pretty strange that you can do that on nodes. But what do you know? This redirect to URL might be acting on users that you select, but I'm not sure. Remove from front page. Say save content. This might be good if you have actions firing on node save, so it's not just silly action. Send email is for use. No, not for use. This is to an arbitrary email address, which doesn't really make sense since well, maybe you can use the node content with tokens and stuff if you send email. Unpublished content containing keywords, I think is a remnant from Drupal 5 days, where taxonomy terms were the hot stuff. Well, Drupal 4.6 and 7, where taxonomy terms were really hot. Then you use them for making kind of everything on your site, and you mark stuff with special keywords if you want things to happen with those nodes at a particular time, and then you can use VBO to make that happen. Right, that's kind of it. Let's apply these changes and save to see what it looks like. Save. Reload. Alright, so now here's the configuration form up here. Since I checked that merge configuration with single configuration form with single action views bulk operations. This is changed to radio buttons. I disabled the select all checkbox, and that means apparently that the label is displayed here, which might be useful. And I have the actions as buttons instead of select list and submit button. Right, cool. Yeah, that's basically it when it comes to settings for VBO. One more thing that might be useful to say is this path here. If you start with admin/something, it will automatically load using the admin theme if a user is allowed to use that. So you can add new customized and useful admin pages with VBO. That's one of the most useful things. Right, maybe I should say one more thing. Yeah, I'll do that. If you use relationships to load several objects of the same type into views, say using node reference from a node to another node, you can add this as with relationships here. Then for each bulk operation field you add, you get, as usual, to select which relationship you want to use with it, and that works just fine. You can act on related nodes, not only the base object in the view. Right. I don't recommend having more than one bulk operation field in a view. It will probably be confusing for the user, and I think in some cases it will be confusing for VBO too, especially if you use it together with rules. Yeah, that's it. In the next screencast we're going to look at how to use rules components with VBO. See you there.